Hello, everyone. So we will start on time today. Welcome, everybody. I hope you are ready with a good cup of coffee. So let's start with a general question and a very interesting one. Is ChatGPT today the start of the AI revolution? If you are familiar reading articles about AI or working in the AI space, you have surely already been overwhelmed with such great press titles and so many social network information, good or bad. So new large language models will for sure transform many jobs. Whether they will lead to prosperity or not is up to us. But there are as well many concerns around security and usage of the enterprise data. So while companies and executives see a clear chance to cash in, the likely impact of the technology on workers and the economy is usually far less obvious. The good news is that today Microsoft, Avanade, and AudioCode are able to demonstrate how this innovation in the contact center space can lead to a better customer experience while reducing considerably the cost. As many of you already, Microsoft have invested more than 10 billion US dollars in OpenAI, which is the company who created ChatGPT. Now fully integrated within the Microsoft Azure services, you can as of today rely on the Microsoft Azure API to connect to GPT services with the same privacy policy and data protection as any other Microsoft cognitive services. Now, if you consider to easily incorporate chatbots into your existing business processes using Microsoft Power Virtual Agents, think about accelerating and simplifying bot building with Microsoft OpenAI ChatGPT API capabilities. And finally, never forget that voice remains the key channel of communication of the customer with the enterprise. Adding audio code in the solution framework will allow you not only to automate voice calls easily using Microsoft PVA bot building and the OpenAI large language models, but also to provide the enterprise with automated call summarization, sentiment analysis, and trigger any action to improve the customer loyalty. So innovation is always exciting, and I'm very glad to introduce you our speakers today. From Microsoft, welcome to Sarah Critchley and Dwayne Robinson. Sarah and Dwayne are Principal Program Manager for Bot Framework and Power Virtual Agents. Sarah will provide you first with a Power Virtual Agents overview, and then we'll details innovation with Azure OpenAPI. From Avanade, welcome to Dr. Klaus Sankler, who is Conversational AI Architect, Global Center of Excellence Data and AI. And Klaus will show you how to build a Q&A voice bot with PVA and OpenAI, and will showcase an interesting demonstration. Finally, from AudioCodes, we have today Ilan Avner, Director of Product Management. Ilan will explain the voice enablement of Microsoft PVA and how to integrate with telephony. Ilan will also deep dive on the call summarization innovation with an impressive demonstration. We will then conclude with the Q&A. So I almost forgot to mention myself. My name is Patrice Martins from AudioCode. I'm Business Development Manager, Conversational AI, and I will be your moderator today. So do not hesitate to raise questions using the Q&A button on the right corner of the interface. We will have some space to answer your question later on. Please note as well that this webinar will be recorded, and a link to the recorded file will be sent to you by hopefully next week. So enough talking for me. Let's start with Sarah from Microsoft. Sarah, let's discover Microsoft PVA and the OpenAI innovation. The stage is yours.
Brilliant. Thanks, Patrice. You can't forget yourself. Whoa, I was like, no. That can't happen. Well, thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. You should be able to see my screen just about now.
Yes, we can.
Brilliant. And welcome to the audience. We saw you all piling in there. I always imagine it's like kind of like a room, right? And everyone's trying to like get in. So welcome. Thanks for just taking the time out of your busy day to join us. It's super great to have you here. So I'm going to be sharing really all about Power Virtual Agents. And really, I just want to say right off the bat, we are so excited at Microsoft to really see the upcoming launch of our new unified canvas in Microsoft Power Virtual Agents that is coming very, very soon. And this is all about bringing the low code and the pro code really together in our unified web canvas. So definitely check that out. Now, what we've also been doing is we've also got in public preview today essentially innovation in relation to 2 features that use generative AI technology. And so the first one that I want to talk about is all around Copilot. You'll have definitely heard, and I'm sure you all have, because you're not living under a rock, right? You'll have heard Copilot talked about in so many different Microsoft technologies. And so when I talk about Copilot for Power Virtual Agents, this is all around co-creating topics with AI using natural language. And this is super powerful stuff. So I'm talking about being able to just ask Power Virtual Agents to create question nodes, to create message nodes, to add message variation to those message nodes, and even create the adaptive card JSON as well. And it doesn't just stop there. We're talking about creation. This is also about iteration as well. So you've currently got your topic in Power Virtual Agents and you want to make some changes. How do you do that? You can easily, using Copilot, just target one of the nodes and ask it to update. So let me give you an example. You can easily click on a message node and say, add me 5 message variations, and it'll just do it in seconds. And so this is really around taking authoring really and reducing what was originally maybe weeks, months of creating topics, creating that controlled experience with authored topics down to minutes. And that is super powerful, especially if you think about how much organizations have to change, how much organizations have to evolve based on their needs and the demands from their customers. Now, that's Copilot. That's our first feature. The second one is boosted conversations, and this is all around empowering a bot maker to connect a Power Virtual Agent together with a data source. So this can be SharePoint, for example, or maybe even an organization's website. And what happens is that bot immediately, once connected, becomes essentially available to create responses using that data in real time with GPT without creating topics on that data. So this is again truly powerful. This is around creating a useful bot in less than 30 seconds, and I can't stress that enough. This is amazing. And given that, let's just kind of take a little bit of a dive into some of the underlying technology. As Patrice was saying, this is using Azure OpenAI technology together with the Azure Cognitive Services. And you've kind of got 3 broad ways, or essentially the flow of what's going on here. You've got that data retrieval component, depending on where the bot maker essentially targets connecting Power Virtual Agents to. Then you've got the summarization engine, which is where you're going to be setting the tone, things like the references, because it goes and gets the URL for the user that's asking the question. So you can go ahead and get some more information at the same time, but also there's that summarization as well. Now, there's also the response validation engine, and this is super important. This is around content moderation to and from the endpoint. This is around things like hallucination removal. So this is around us focusing on building essentially what we refer to as enterprise safe controls directly into Power Virtual Agents, so organizations can really just get started and start evolving and really managing these changing customer experiences and demands that we're seeing in the market today. Now, given that, we're kind of seeing a bit of a shift as well if we look at it from a conversational AI perspective. This is around essentially this new paradigm of topic responses in dialogue management. You're still going to be using authored topics, and that's going to be really important. You're still going to be using our unified canvas. You're still going to be using Copilot, using that assisted authoring technology to create that controlled experience. Then you've got people, and I'm sure those on the call today are going to be familiar with the traditional fallback, using things like FAQ, custom question and answering. But then we've got this new stage here, which is your generated responses. And this is around achieving scale in minutes. This is around not just relying on that fallback anymore. This is around being able to increase the scope of a bot, being able to serve customers better and much more broadly, to become way more useful rather than hitting walls and having to create those every single author topic that a customer asks. And then obviously escalation is still super important. If essentially that bot cannot answer the question, being able to direct essentially a customer or an internal user to somebody that can help, or essentially give them some kind of SOP to do that, that's super, super important. If I double click really on the GPT piece in that diagram that we saw, right? If I was to summarize this in a nutshell for the audience today, you've got really these two approaches. You've got with Power Virtual Agents, you've got the bring your own knowledge, or essentially bring your knowledge with our SaaS-based platform. This is around utilizing the enterprise scale and enterprise safe built-in features with Power Virtual Agents, really to achieve that scale, achieve the authoring in minutes, to be able to serve those customers' needs. Now, needs change, or maybe you want to provide a fine-tuned experience. And what's super important is to still be able to meet those customers' needs. How would you go ahead and do that? Well, that's where bring your own model, or essentially bring your model, comes in. This is around then bringing together both the bring your knowledge, bring your model, and connect it to what would be a custom architecture, or essentially an extended architecture to those managed experiences. And using one, more, both of those essentially kind of broad approaches with architecture, you're going to, as an organization, or if you're serving another organization to meet their needs, we're going to be able to serve our customers better. We're going to be able to essentially meet their needs given where they're at, and again, achieve things like scale in minutes, and also make sure that that is still really paying attention to the enterprise policies that we have today. Now, I'm super excited. Klaus is going to really bring this to life with a demonstration today. So I'm super excited. He's going to really show you how this works, go into the technology. But before I do, Patrice, back over to you, and we can go from there.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Very interesting to discover the Microsoft PVA capabilities and how this OpenAI generate response feature are really so well integrated within the interface. So from the theory to a practical example, Klaus, I cannot wait to see how to build a Q&A voice bot with PVA and OpenAI and to look at your demonstration.
Yes, thank you, Patrice, for the introduction. A bit of personal background. Automatic speech recognition was already the topic of my PhD thesis, and now, over 30 years later, it's so easily accessible to everybody, and that's really fascinating. The topic today: how do we combine such a voice interface with intelligent search capabilities and powered by Azure OpenAI? So questions coming into my mind, and probably others also, is how much time do you waste daily searching for information which is buried in long documents, in tables, or anywhere in the websites? It's really much time you spend there and wasted. How big would be the efficiency gain for you or for your clients to provide a voice access to your documents and knowledge bases? And how can Azure OpenAI help with document search? And that's a question which is asked every day from everybody now. How can you combine your own knowledge with ChatGPT? And I hope you will get some ideas in this session. But before we jump into the demo, a very quick intro what and who Avanade is. We were founded as a joint venture by Microsoft and Accenture 22 years ago, and we are now market leader in building innovative Microsoft solutions with over 60,000 people. And this overview contains some more impressive numbers about Avanade, but I don't want to read all of them. It's impressive, and let's now jump into the demo. Appy was created in a hackathon 2 weeks ago at the Accenture IoT Innovation Center in Munich. And the image, what you can see here, was also created by OpenAI. We created it by Delhi and just selected in the team which would be fitting best from the character to what it is. Then let's start. And one scenario, what I have prepared, I'm on the road and I want to get the information about the latest developments in AI. And I use my time, call my personal assistant Appy, which got uploaded in the background with the latest white papers, and I want to know some key facts. Now let's start. That's one of the documents which has been uploaded. We uploaded some more into this demo, but this is one example. Unstructured text. And now I don't want to read everything. I just want to know some key facts. And let's start the call. I call a phone number and it starts now.
Hello, I'm Abby, your virtual assistant. What do you want to know?
What is most critical for success to scale AI for most organizations?
One moment, please. I have to think about your question. The most critical factor for success in scaling AI for most organizations is the data supply chain and analytics. 94% of respondents see it as the most critical aspect to scale AI within their organization. I found this answer in AI Maturity Becoming AI-Driven Research Report.pdf at page number 6. What else do you want to know?
You are so intelligent. How are you built?
I am a virtual assistant built by the winning Avanade and Accenture team on the GenAI hackathon 2 weeks ago. I am built with Power Virtual Agent, using Azure OpenAI Generative AI in combination with Cognitive Search and AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect. Do you want to know more about me?
Yes, please.
My system is based on a combination of multiple services. With Azure Cognitive Semantic Search, I can search the relevant information in my document library. Then I am using GPT to generate a specific response to your question. I am voice-enabled with AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect in combination with Azure Speech to be able to talk to you. What else can I do for you?
Thank you. It takes a while.
You're welcome.
Okay, that are the. It's built on Power Virtual Agent, as we heard, and which provides a very easy environment to combine and orchestrate all these services which you see here on this picture. And we can now drive one level deeper. And this is the architecture blueprint which we have built during the hackathon. There are several variants now floating around how you can solve this issue, but in principle they are resembling a lot. We have an offline knowledge ingestion part. Just a second here, it's coming on the left side. We are uploading documents into an Azure storage. Use Form Recognizer to extract the structure from it. We extract the tables and also the paragraphs, the plain text. Fill it into an index, enrich it before. We translate the documents into a second language. In this demo, second language is German, that we could also ask the same questions in German, but we could select any other supported language here. And using Azure Functions, we are filling the search index. And this belongs then to the online search and response generation, which we front end with Power Virtual Agent here in the center. And before that, the user can either choose a text interface if he's sitting in front of a computer, or he can use a telephone interface and call a telephone number, what we just demonstrated. And we are using VoiceAI Connect here in combination with Azure Speech to transform the communication from voice into the text channel and connect it with Power Virtual Agent. And Power Virtual Agent is then driving a pipeline of services with language detection first, and then Azure Cognitive Search to drill into the candidates, top candidates of the results, and then the final response is generated by OpenAI in absolutely clean language. And what you heard here in the demo is that also the source information, where does this information come from, including page number, is generated and included into the response. And that's our way to reduce the hallucination, or at least make it transparent that if there's something wrong, that it can be easily detected and it's absolutely clear where this information was coming from. Yeah, this architecture shows, we present that it's multi-channel available. Power Virtual Agent allows a lot of different channels. We just selected two, the web channel and the speech channel. It's multilingual by principle. It was also interesting that we use the language detection only for detect and trigger the cognitive search with the right language flag. But the generation is language independent, so we just provide the results here in the selected language, and the OpenAI layer is already generating the response in the same language. So we don't have to do anything here. That's automatically generated in the target language. The architecture is scalable because the underlying services are already designed as scalable. And you have seen natural language is not only on text level, also the voice itself. It's a neural voice provided by Microsoft, sounds very natural without that we tuning anything, which is also possible for special cases if required. Yeah, that's a quick dig into the technology, what we have built here. And I hope that this short demo helps you to identify use cases for your own business and where voice-enabled knowledge search can be helpful. That's just the combination we picked here. And we are running multiple concurrent POCs at this time because we saw that it's really a huge interest in the market. And I'm convinced that GPT will really change the world and most workplaces with intelligent, extended workplaces. Extended intelligence will support most workplaces in future so that everybody can achieve more. Following the vision of Microsoft, that's exactly in line with that. Next steps. Think about use cases, plan a design thinking workshop with us or proof of concept and dig into that to see where your sweet spots are. And let's continue the discussion. I think it's really a hot topic. And with that, having said that, I would give back to Patrice.
Yeah, thank you, Klaus. Very, very great demonstration, and I'm sure it opened the mind of many attendees about what can be done, and how easily it can be reproduced for their specific use cases. Ilan, we saw the Microsoft PVA capabilities and amazing Klaus demonstration about how easy it is to build a Q&A voice bot. Let's talk a bit about the missing piece and how to voice enable PVA and how to integrate with existing telephony.
Okay, thank you, Patrice. I'm really excited to see this demo because I don't think that few months ago we could have built something which is so good and also very simple to build. It's very exciting. I'm sure all of you can think about a lot of use cases. We just saw a Q&A bot, but it's much wider than that, and I'm sure this will revolutionize the conversational AI market. Now, in my part of the session, I'm going to focus on how you can voice enable your bot and connect it to your telephony platform, to telephony connections. Now, before I deep dive into that, first, let's see what are the various options related to voice conversational AI. So the first one is intelligent virtual agent. This is a bot you can speak with, just like the one that Klaus just demoed to you, which is a Q&A bot. And as we said, this is not the only one. You can also, there are lots of use cases for that. If someone calls the bank, you get to check the balance, or you want to book a flight, or you want to order a pizza, whatever. There are a lot of use cases for intelligent voice intelligent virtual agents. The second one is a conversational IVR. So when you today, when you call a contact center, usually you would encounter a legacy IVR with hierarchical menus. Then you need to press a lot of DTMFs. It's a very tedious user experience. Now with generative AI, large language models, OpenAI, it's very easy to build an IVR with an open question that someone just calls the IVR, and instead of these hierarchical menus, you just ask him an open question. How can I help you today? And that would be a much better user experience for the IVR. The last one is agent assistant. Now, this is a bit of a different use case. Here, this is a call between a customer and a live agent, not a bot. But here the bot is passively listening to the call, and he can assist the live agent with, for instance, which questions to ask. He can suggest answers. You can go and fetch data from databases and display them on the agent screen. And I will also show a different use case for that, a demo. And this one will be around the call summarization. So we can, after the call, summarize the call. You can do sentiment analysis, and I will elaborate that when I show you the demo. Now that we saw the use cases, let's deep dive into how you can voice enable your bot. So we saw from Sarah and so from Klaus how we can build your bot based on the Microsoft PVA. Now this is basically when you build it as a chatbot, and now when you want your customers to call this bot, the first thing that you need is to connect it to your voice engagement channels, the voice engagement channels that your customers are using. These ones can be your public telephony providers, like the one who supply you the 1-800 numbers, or if you're medium, large enterprise, usually would use a contact center. It can be Cisco, Genesys, Avaya, Five9, NAS inContact, and much more. And if you want to automate your self-service for enterprise employees like HR and IT, then you need to connect it to your enterprise communication platform like Teams or Zoom or whatever the enterprise is using. Now, all these ones here on the left-hand side are based on legacy voice over IP protocols. This is how they communicate. And here on the left-hand side, we need to connect them to the various conversational AI platforms, which are HTTP based, so someone needs to bridge the gap. Here, it's many protocols, it's many voice codecs that can be used. There are many challenges around voice quality, scalability. I will mention them afterwards, and that's the challenge. And this is what this is exactly what AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect is trying to address. So here is AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect. The left-hand side of the VoiceAI Connect connects to the various voice engagement channels. Now, this left-hand side is based on AudioCodes session border controllers. Session border controller main goal is to connect all these islands, voice over IP islands, to each other. This is what AudioCodes are doing for the last 25 years. We're experts, and this is why our SBCs, session border controllers, can connect to any voice engagement that your customers may be using. So, and about 4 years ago, we leveraged that to connect all these islands also to the various conversational AI platforms, such as Microsoft PVA. And also to voice enable your bot, we also connected to third-party cognitive services like text-to-speech, speech-to-text services, voice biometrics, which is the way to authenticate customers based on their voice signatures, recording systems. And here, you as a bot developer or as a solution provider can easily connect your bot to any of the voice engagement channels, can easily build the most advanced voice bot while choosing your cognitive speech services. And also controlling the telephony channels, the speech channels with very simple APIs. Here is a little bit high-level flow. So usually there is a call between a customer and a bot. The first thing that the bot will do is send you a welcome prompt. So we will receive it as a text utterance, and then we will convert text to voice and stream it towards the customer. When the customer says something, we'll convert speech to text and send it towards the bot. Now, a little bit about the functionalities of AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect. So we already mentioned that the first thing, which is easy integrations with any voice channel, and the way to choose your cognitive speech services vendors. Another aspect is related to voice quality. Now, voice quality is really very important because the basics for a VoiceBot is to recognize your voice speech to text engine, and if you have bad voice quality, you will have bad inputs to the bot, and then the user experience will be bad. With AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect, we have ways to enhance and also monitor your voice quality. We also have ways to reduce, another thing, by the way, related to cost. The most expensive part of that, of a VoiceBot, is a speech-to-text engine. And with AudioCodes, we have ways to reduce the speech-to-text and also text-to-speech costs, because we can cache prompts, we can detect voice silence and voice activities, and accordingly stop and start the detection. And the last thing, if you want to go to production, you must think about things like scalability, how you can scale to hundreds and thousands of sessions, concurrent sessions. You must have a redundant architecture, a highly available one, and also a secured and private one. And since AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect is based on AudioCodes session border controllers, we have this architecture. And one last thing related to this aspect is that if you want to connect your bots, let's say to a contact center, usually the IT admin of the contact center would be reluctant to change whatever he has in place. So you must adjust to the specific contact center, the specific vendor, and the specific version that he's using. And you will find out that there are a lot of variations here. Now, another aspect is related to how you can control the voice interaction from the conversational AI platform. With the VoiceAI Connect, we give very simple APIs to the bot developer that he can control the telephony channel and then send actions or also receive notifications from the telephony channel. This is about, for instance, if someone presses DTMF, you will receive a notification. You can play files, you can escalate human agent, you can receive no input notifications. You can also control the speech engines. You can change the language. I just heard Klaus speaking about the option to support dynamically multiple languages. So you need to control the language. You can choose the voice name. You can change even the speech provider dynamically, and all things related to the speed of the text to speech and things like that are controlled with very simple APIs to the bot developer. You can also, for contact centers, escalations to human agent is very important. For conversational IVR, this is a basic scenario, but also for a voice bot, there is a need to escalate to human agent. How would you do that? How would you share the context with the human agent? So these are more APIs that we expose to the bot developers. And when you develop a voice bot, you need to adjust to the voice experience, which is different than the chat one. And just some examples, for instance, when the bot speaks with voice, the customer can interrupt the voice prompt. So how do you handle that? The customer may also be silent, and so you do have a way to receive no user inputs and then ask the question again. So these are things that you can control over the voice interaction. We have two service options for AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect. The first one is what we call LiveHub. LiveHub is a self-service portal that you can connect your customers to any voice application that you have. It can be a conversational AI platform, like Microsoft PVA. It can also be a contact center, or can also be your UC platform like Teams. So it's a much wider than only conversational AI. It's a self-service portal that you can do. You can connect all your voice applications to your customers. The second option, in case you have concerns about security and privacy, and you don't want to use a multi-tenant portal, then we have what we call VoiceAI Connect Enterprise. And this is a dedicated instance we can install in your data center in your Azure account, in your GCP or AWS account, or we can also install it on AudioCodes Azure account as a dedicated instance for you. And this is offered as a fully managed service. I do recommend, if you already have a PVA bot, if you want to voice enable that, you can do this with few clicks. So here is a link to AudioCodes Live Hub. While you connect and sign up to this, you will have a quick wizard. You can assign a phone number, connect it to your bot, and call your bot within few clicks. Then afterwards, you can connect it to your contact center and also use that for production. Now, I want to move to the next topic of my session, and this is about automated call summary using Azure OpenAI. Now, this is more of the agent assist use case. The agent assist, so what you will see here, I will start with a demo. And on the demo, we'll see a call between a customer and the live agent. Now, what you will see the live agent screen. This is the agent workspace. Specifically here, it's a Genesys Engage agent workspace. And on this workspace, you will first see a call between a customer and the live agent, and you will see the real-time transcription that is also done by AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect. But what's more interesting is by the end of the call, you will also see call summarization done by OpenAI, and also sentiment analysis and topic extraction. So let's start with a demo, and then I will explain more.
Thank you for calling ABC Travel. How can I assist you?
Hi, I need to change my flight booking. Can you help?
Sure. Can I have your booking reference number, please?
Yes, it's XYZ456.
What changes would you like to make?
I need to change the departure date to August 10th and the return date to August 20th.
Let me check if that's possible. Please hold. Okay, we can do that, but there will be a $50 change fee and a $100 fare difference. Do you accept those charges?
Why is the charge so high all of a sudden? Never mind, I guess I have no choice. So what's the total cost?
The cost is $150.
Okay, whatever, that's fine.
First, I'll need your full name and date of birth.
Janet Smith. Date of birth is June 1st, 1985.
Thank you. I'll email you the updated e-ticket. Anything else I can help you with?
No, that's it.
Okay, have a good day.
Okay, so we can see here, while the call ended, a few seconds afterwards, just a minute, I will just move a little bit here. You can see here the sentiment analysis. This is done by OpenAI. So OpenAI is just like a magic. So it's not only the things that Klaus and Sarah showed you. You can see how many things you can do with OpenAI. Here you can see a sentiment analysis. I'm always amazed to see how accurate it is. You can see that the agent is trying to be helpful, but the customer is frustrated because of a new price. And then afterwards, you will see the topic extraction, which is a list of topics on the conversation. And then afterwards, you will see the conversation summary. And if you will read that, you will see how accurate it is. And it works each time. Whatever we say, I see it's very accurate. It can be much more accurate than what a human agent would summarize. So that's about that. Now, let's go to what are the benefits? What are the benefits of a call summarization feature? So the first thing is that usually on contact centers, after a call ends, there is a wrap-up time that may take up to 2 minutes that the agent is summarizing the call. Of course, this can cut this time dramatically. And as you saw, it's also very accurate. It can, now think about the agent. I'm sure the agent, to summarize the call is not something that you're happy to do. And if someone is doing that for you, it will improve the agent satisfaction, which is very important to contact centers. Now, assuming you have a customer calling you again, and then you're an agent, you can see the summary of the previous calls in your agent screen. This can also improve the consecutive customer engagements. And more things that you can do not related to call summarization with OpenAI. You can see, we also showed you the sentiment analysis. You can also do automated quality assurance, real-time guidance and help. So there are a lot of benefits to that. And this is the architecture behind that. You can see here, this is the contact center and the specific contact center that we showed you, and we have a full integration. This is Genesys Engage. We can also do that with other contact centers, on-prem, on cloud, whatever. And here is the agent workspace. AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect receive the voice streams, connects to Microsoft speech-to-text that we use for this demo, send the text streams to an application we've built. This application sends a real-time transcription to be displayed on the agent screen. And while the call ends, go to OpenAI, do the call summarization, sentiment analysis, and the topic extraction, and then sends them either to the agent to display them on the screen. We can also send them to the supervisor or to store them on the CRM system. So that's it. So Patrice, back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ilan. And I think it's very impressive, and we have now covered all aspects of this powerful collaboration between Microsoft, Avanade, and AudioCodes. It's great demonstration for me on the call summarization and sentiment analysis that you guys can implement as from tomorrow very easily. So just think about the cost savings of 2 minutes per agent per call to summarize the conversation with the customer. But on another topic, think about having this call summarization with OpenAPI available to listen the conversation between the customer and the bot, and to get all this summary as well, to try to get this new data to improve the bot performance as well. So this is something very great. So thanks to all our speakers today. Great jobs, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now take a closer look to the Q&A. There is a lot of Q&A. We will try to answer all of these if we do not have time when we will send you the recording. Maybe a first general question, Klaus, for you. What do you consider as value add of using AudioCodes VoiceAI for VoiceBots in your daily developments that you are doing?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think one of the big advantages what we experienced, especially in development and also for new use cases, is the flexibility of the platform, that we could get access to the very latest features also from Microsoft, which we could directly implement. And one example is the language identification feature. That's one feature which is available in Azure Speech, that you can talk in your mother language, in your mother tongue, and it recognizes automatically this is French, this is German, this is English, and then we could switch in chatbots the dialogue directly to that language, and saving the time to for language switch dialogues. That's one of the advantages, and there are so many parameters which we could influence to, for example, to switch the speech recognition model, the custom model, on the fly, when we know we are now expecting a postcode response, that we could switch speech model which is optimized for recognizing postcodes. And that helps a lot for the quality, and that are the little features which really drive the final acceptance of the users, and that helps really a lot.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. Maybe one for Sarah. Sarah, how do customers get started with the boosted conversation feature in Power Virtual Agents?
Well, thanks for the question. This was an amazing webinar, by the way. I've definitely enjoyed each of the other presentations too. So yes, so for those of you who are on the webinar today, you can get started today with the boosted conversation feature in Power Virtual Agent that we showed. And you can do that by just going to aka.ms/tryPVA. I will put it into the chat as well, so people can just go ahead and click that. It is in public preview. You can go ahead and point it to your company's website and can literally, like, no joke, from what I said, start creating a bot in around 30 seconds that's connected to your actual data as well. So yeah, it's really is that easy.
Okay, great. So Ilan, let's jump to you afterwards. I'm trying to share a question for everyone as time is flying. Ilan, we have several customers who are, for example, working today on Genesys Engage, and we have a plan to move to a Genesys cloud solution. How will you consider the impact on the architecture if we start building, I would say, a solution today, PVA, with this OpenAI and AudioCodes, while we have a development on physical data center moving to the cloud? What will be the impact and the change that will be required?
Okay, thank you for this question, Patrice. So that's really interesting because we know about a lot of large organizations who are using on-prem contact centers. It may be Genesys Engage, it may be Avaya, it may be Cisco, and then the contact centers are pushing them to move to the cloud. And now they want to innovate, but it may take them years to move to the cloud. And they need to understand how to preserve their investment in AI. So let's say they want to develop a bot with the Microsoft PVA, and they have Genesys Engage. With the VoiceAI Connect, they can start developing, and we will abstract the contact center for them and connect them to the contact center, whatever they have on-prem. And then you may have a coexist, which means that when you do a migration, some of the agents are still, some of the traffic is still on the on-prem, some of the traffic is on the cloud, but the development of the bot is not influenced by that, because we abstract the contact center and we know how to connect to the bot from the various contact center vendors, or let's say the on-prem or the cloud environment. And then while they also move all their traffic to the cloud, their bot development would not be influenced. They can still preserve their investment. Then the same thing, by the way, if they want to do the call summarization that we just described, that we can preserve their investment, and the bot development is not really influenced due to changing the contact center.
Okay, great. Thank you. Great answer. I have also other general questions very fast about all this security and GDPR conformity, which is a great statement. Does anyone want to comment on this?
Sarah, do you want to say something about OpenAI or Azure OpenAI, how it is?
I'll talk about that broadly, right, and answer it. It obviously depends on where the, there's a complex number of things at play when we look at GDPR and other data residency kind of requirements, right? You've got kind of the data processing, you've got where the data resides, all of that, right? And especially if you're using an architecture like what Klaus demonstrated today as well, you do have to take into consideration the different services that you're utilizing, right? So what the recommendation for where you have regulatory requirements is just review each individual service, and based on essentially what you need to comply with and what your customer needs to comply with. That would be the recommendation there to get started.
So I can add a little bit to that, because we get, for instance, when we show the call summarization feature to customers, and also the same thing would be also with the PVA and the integration with OpenAI, they all think you work directly with the ChatGPT, and or you work directly with OpenAI. Now we have the umbrella, also PVA and the call summarization of Microsoft around that, and it's all under the umbrella of Microsoft with all the security policies that you have in place by Microsoft. They commit not to share your data or to train the model, the generic model, with your data, with your private data, and they commit. We have a very tight commitment from Microsoft, and we know that they take it very seriously. Otherwise, no one would use that if you share that. And so that's what I'm hearing from customers. This is my answers to customers.
Okay, great comments, Guy, and I think effectively, as I mentioned in the early stage, that the fact that Microsoft invested so many billions in OpenAI, and this is to be able to provide, of course, business cases and to comply with GDPR and security as any other Microsoft Azure Cognitive Services that is proposed on the market today. And to be honest, to answer a question and concern of many, we have so many banks and financial institutions in Europe that are using today Microsoft services aligned with the VoiceAI Connect solution. So that means that, trust me, the compliance and the security assessment have been performed correctly by all these big players. So, well, I know there is a lot of many other questions, and it will be difficult to cover each and every one right now. So don't be afraid, we will answer your question later on. What I would like maybe is to move to a brief wrap up and share this slide between the conversation. If you give me 1 second. Yeah. So I think it's really time for the wrap up because we are close to the end. And first of all, I would like to thank you again, Sarah from Microsoft, Klaus from Avanade, and Ilan from AudioCodes. So back to the first question. Is ChatGPT the start of the AI revolution, if you remember? So, well, definitively for me, a revolution you can take advantage as of today. So think about the tools and solution at your disposal. It has never been so easy to implement a chatbot and to automate your business processing using Microsoft PVA and the OpenAI ChatGPT API integration. So no need to invest anymore in calculable time and resources while you can securely trust from now large language model from Microsoft. Now think about the business advantages and the cost savings you can bring today by automating voice calls with the AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect solution that will fill the gap between Microsoft PVA, OpenAI, and your existing telephony or contact center solution, or eventually just innovate and reduce straightforward your contact center agent costs with the call summarization and sentiment analysis functionalities. As strong partner in the latest VoiceBot innovation, Microsoft Avanade and AudioCodes teams remain, of course, at your disposal to discuss further your project or to support you improving your customer journey and loyalty while reducing your costs. On the screen below, you will find a few interesting links. The first one to the Microsoft PVA to get started to trial, the same with Avanade to get access to the webinar presentation. And you have as well access to the VoiceAI Connect.audiocode.com mini website where you will have all the details about the API documentation. The live up that Ilan discussed about how to use this self-service portal to easily automate your existing PV and transform them into a voice-enabled bot. And for more information, do not hesitate to drop me an email at my email address, which is noted below, or just connect on LinkedIn. I will be more than happy to get in touch with you and put you in contact with the appropriate people at Microsoft, Avanade, or AudioCodes all together, really to collaborate with you and make your project a success as well. So do not hesitate to reach out to us anytime. I would like to thank you for your participation and then wish you a very nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.